Oh, y'all get my remind message with the notes, what we did on Monday? Okay. Okay, the DMAT review. First question. Decide whether the statement is true or false. If false, explain why. The statement. 4 is 19 less than 23. Is interpreted 4 equals 19 minus 23. Should switch over. Oh, well, there. So 4 is 19 less than 23. Is that what it means? Is it 4 is 19 less than 23? False. What does this one say? Think of it, 19 less than 23. Does this one say 19 less than 23, or is it 23 less than 19? This is 23 less than 19, yeah. So it should be 4 equals 23 minus 19. Because the minus sign is a less than. What? Well, apparently I picked the test. Oh, crap. Okay. Shoot. Yeah, because I said it as soon as you open it, it starts. Even for me, even though I'm trying to preview it from my side. Anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at this question. Find the value of the expression 4 over 5 times 2 over 3 plus 1/4. 1 over 4 times 1 over 3. So what do you do first here? We have to do order of operations. Are there any special operations here? Any parentheses, exponents? No. Any multiplication, division? Yes, everywhere. They're all division, but here's a multiplication. So we have to do that first. What's the rule of multiplying fractions? The rule is this: if you can, anything on top can cancel with anything on the bottom, if possible. Doesn't have to be up and down. It could be across. It could be anywhere. I can go up and down or across. Since nothing cancels, I go ahead and multiply. Top by top, 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. All right, everything else down? Sorry. Right now, the next thing to do, no special operations, multiplication division. Yes, here's a multiplication right here. So I have 8 over 15. Then I have to do this one. Same rules, multiplying fractions. Anything on top cancel anything on the bottom? No. So I multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 3 is 12. No special operations, no multiplication division, so we add. Let's go ahead and do the butterfly. Oops. Fifteen times 1 is 15. So plus. No, you can't do that with plus. Yeah, good. I'm glad you noticed that, but no, we can't. Not when it has plus or minus. 12 times 8 is 96. And 15 times 12, 180. Thank you. So we have 96 plus 15 over 180. $111 over 180. Now we have to factor. Break it down. Does 2 go in there in the top? No, because it ends in an odd digit. Does 2 go on the bottom? Yes, because it ends in a 0 or an even number. So 2 goes into, well, we can't do 2. We know that it's 2 times 90, but we're looking for the same number top and bottom. Is this one divisible by 3? How do you know? And easier than that. What we talked about in class 2 weeks ago was if you add up the numbers, 1 plus 1 plus 1, is that divisible by 3? Yes. So if the answer is yes, then this number is divisible by 3. Is 180 divisible by 3? Yeah, because 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3. So they're both divisible by 3. 3 goes into 111 how many times? 37 times. 3 goes into 11 3 times with 2 left over. 3 goes into 21 7 times. 3 goes into 18 6 times with a 0 in it. $37 over 60. Anything else go in there? No. So that's our answer. $37 over 60. Find the numerical value of the expression 6x minus 7 over 3x if x equals 4. I don't know why it's not letting me switch over. So what do? Anywhere I see an x, I put a 4. 6 times 4 minus 7. 3 times 4. 6 times 4, 24 minus 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 24 minus 7, 17 over 12. Now, I don't know if it'll let you put in if the instructions say you can put it as just a fraction, doesn't say simplify or rewrite, then this is improper. How would I convert it to a mixed number? Since the bottom number is smaller than the top. How many times is 12 going to 17? Once. How many left over? Yes. Yeah, so all depends on what it's asking for. Let's take a look to see what it wants. Oh, it changed the question already. Okay, find the numerical value . 3x squared plus 8y if x equals 4 and y equals 1. So I have 3, here's an x, and x equals 4 squared. 8i equals 1. So I substitute those. Order of operations, do what first? Exponents. So 3 times 4 squared is 16. Plus 8 times 1. Left to right, there's no special operations. I can't do anything there. So multiplication, division. 3 times 16 is 48. Yeah, multiplication, division. 8 times 1, so it's 48 plus 8, which is 56. Number 5. Determine if the following expression is an equation. Three x 2 x minus 1 equals 3. So what this one's asking, is it an equation? What do you look for to see if it's an equation? Nope, just an equal sign. If it has an equal sign, it's an equation. And you have to solve for something. Because equations, you have to solve. Expressions, you can only simplify. So that's all that one wanted. It's an expression, yes. You have three numbers between -6 and 9. that satisfy this condition. Positive real number, but not integers. So the options are 2 3/4, 2/3, 66/4, 1/7, 16, 6/75, and 18. So we have to find numbers, 3 numbers between these two. Do we know any of them that won't work automatically? Just by looking at them? Okay, so they're all positive, that's good. But are they less than 9? Is that less than 9? Yeah, because it's 2 and a little bit. Is that less than 9? Yeah, that's less than 1. 11/4. That's less than 9. 66/4. We could do by 2, 33 divided by 2 is, ooh, hold it. Will that work? 2 goes in both of them. 33/2. 33/2 is 16.5. So that one can't work because it's bigger than 9. 1/7 is less than 1. That works. 16, whatever, that one cannot work. 18 cannot work, and it's also an integer. So those are all positive. They're between here and they're not integers. So these are your answers. Number 7, evaluate the expression. Notice it said evaluate the expression. It doesn't say solve. It said find the value. It doesn't say solve. Because there's no equal sign there. Okay, so the first one we do is what? Special operations, absolute value. What's the absolute value of 2/5? Just 2/5. And the absolute value just gets rid of the negative on that number. This is still outside, so it's still there. There's your answer. The absolute value only belonged to this number, not that negative in front. So if it was negative 2/5 absolute value, then the absolute value of this, got negative still there. Absolute value of this is 2/3. Find the sum. -2 plus -6. we have to first get rid of the parenthesis. We can't do anything inside here, so we have to multiply with the coefficient. The coefficient is 1. So we have -2. Positive times negative is negative. 1 times 6 is 6. They're both negative, so the answer is negative. 6 plus 2 is 8. There's your answer. Number 9. Add, do not use a number line except as a check. So we have -9/8 plus 3/4. I like to use the butterfly, so I'm going to use the butterfly. That's a plus. 8 times 4 is 32. Negative times positive is negative. The 9 and 4. 9 times 4, 36. And this wing, 8 times 3 is 24. So we have -36 plus 24 over 32. They have different signs. Since 36 is bigger than 24, I take its sign. So the top answer is going to be negative. Now I subtract 36 minus 24 equals 12. Over 32. This is negative. Let's simplify. They both end in 2, so the 2 goes into 12 6 times. The 2 goes into 32 16 times. So it's -6 over 16. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So there's my answer. That's as far as I can go. Subtract the following. 5 minus -6. You can't have two negatives next to each other, so they become a positive. So we have 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. There's your answer. Simplify. Eight minus parentheses -3 minus 9 plus 2. Order of operations. Can't do anything inside the special operation inside parentheses, so we have to get rid of it. 2 negatives next to each other. become a positive. Oop, that's 9. No special operations, no multiplication division, so addition subtraction, left to right. 8 plus 3 is 11. Minus 9 plus 2. Left to right again. 11 minus 9. 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. And there's your answer. Number 12. Multiply. Negative 3 over 4 times negative 9 over 7. First step, negative times negative, they cancel, so your answer is positive. And anything out, since you're multiplying, can anything on top cancel with anything on the bottom? Nope. Nope. 4 doesn't go into 9. 3 doesn't, or 7 doesn't. So no, it doesn't. So all we do now is multiply. 3 times 9, 4 times 7. 3 times 9 is 27. 4 times 7 is 28. There's your answer.
I was thinking about, you know how sometimes we do like the 3 goes into 9. I was thinking about that.
Yes, only in the, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yes, we're going to get you have to get a common denominator or factoring. Yes. I know there's so many rules that. Number 13. Divide. Negative 11 over 5 divided by negative 7 over 12. So the first thing we do is what? So what are the negatives? Yeah, they're both the 2 negatives in the equation, and it's multiplication division, so they cancel each other out. If you have multiplication and division as an equation, if you have an even number of negatives, the answer is positive. If you have an odd number of negatives, the answer is negative. So what we have right now is 11 over 5 divided by 7 over 12. Now we have to put it into a form that we can work with. Yeah, leave the first one alone, change that to multiplication, and flip the second one. Nothing cancels. So we have 11 times 12, which is 132. 5 times 7, which is 35. Evaluate the expression. If x equals 3, y equals negative 4, and z equals 1. Negative 3 plus x, 7 plus y, negative 8 minus z. So just substitute, plug them in there. Negative 3 plus 3. 7 plus negative 4. Negative 8 minus 1. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 7 minus 4 is 3. Negative 8 minus 1, they're both negative. 8 plus 1 is 9. The answer is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So all this stuff times 0 is 0. Right. Use the commutative or associative property to complete the following statement. State which property you used. 3 plus 4 plus 6 equals 3 plus 6. So what value goes there? We have 3 plus blank plus 6. So it has to be the 4. So what did I do there? The parentheses were around 3 and 4. Now it's around 4 and 6. So all I moved was parentheses, right? Is that commutative or associative? Commutative moves numbers. 7 plus 4 is the same thing as 4 plus 7. It moves the numbers. Associative property moves the parentheses. The associative property moves the parentheses. Identify the property. -16. 9 plus -9 equals 0. That's the inverse. The inverse property makes it equal 0. Number 17. Use the distributive property. 8 times y plus 4 remember what the distributive property does? It takes whatever's in front and multiplies it to everything inside the parentheses. So 8 times y is 8y. Positive times positive is positive. 8 times 4 is 32. And there's your answer. Simplify the expression. -6 minus 6 minus 6p. All we're asked here is just simplify. Can we do anything inside the parentheses? This is like apples and oranges. This is 6 and this is a 6p. They're not the same. If one of them has a variable, a letter of some object behind it, both of them have to. They're called like terms. So we can't combine them. So we have to get rid of the parentheses. Multiply by -1. Negative times sorry, -6. Negative times positive is a negative. 1 times 6 is 6. Negative times negative is a positive. 1 times 6 is 6p. We got rid of the parentheses. Now we have to combine like terms. The -6 and -6, they're like terms. They don't have anything after them. This one's different. They're both negative. So we add the numbers. 6 and 6 is 12. And there's your answer. Oh, this is interesting. Identify the numerical coefficient. Okay, the rule here is this. If you have a fraction, that fraction can be split up into two different numbers. The fraction and the real part. Or you could have done x(1/y). They both mean the same thing. You can. So in other words, when you have a fraction, you can split them up to an integer and a fraction. So in this one, whatever's in the bottom comes out. Whatever's on top is by itself. And there's your answer. Or you could have done either one of these, or. Simplify the given expression. 5x plus 10 minus 1/8. 32x minus 24. All right, let's look at this one. We're asked to simplify. In other words, combine like terms. Can we do anything inside the parentheses? No, because that's an x. That doesn't have an x. That's an x. So we can't do anything inside parentheses, so we have to get rid of them. Multiply 1/5 times both of these numbers. Like we said here, if you have a fraction times a number, you could just put it as a fraction. So 1/5 times 5 is 5/5 x. Positive and positive. 10/5. Negative times positive is negative. 32/8x. Negative times negative is a positive. 24/8. 5/5 is 1, so it's just x. 10/5 is 2. 32 divided by 8 is 4. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now we combine like terms, right? So this x has a positive 1 in front of it. So positive 1 minus 4 is very good. Yeah, since 4 is bigger, the answer is negative. 4 minus 1 is 3. X. 2 plus 3, they're both positive, so we add them. There's your answer. Okay. Number 21. Solve for y. We know since it says solve, there has to be an equal sign in there. Seven y plus 7 minus 3 plus 6y equals 11. First step, left to right. Can we do anything inside the parentheses? No, not like terms, so I can't. So I have to get rid of the parentheses. Since there's nothing in front of this first one, actually there's a 1, I can just drop the parentheses. But since this one has a negative, I got to change the signs of both numbers inside. Okay. Negative times positive is a negative. 1 times 3 is 3. Negative times positive is a negative. 1 times 6 is 6. Equals 11. We got rid of parentheses. First thing, whenever you get rid of parentheses, combine like terms. 7 y's minus, or 7 minus 6 is 1. 1y. 7 minus 3 is positive. 7 minus 3 is 4. So we have y plus 4 equals 11. To get the y by itself, we have to get rid of the positive 4. So we subtract 4. (11 minus 4 is 7. And that's your answer. Okay, what number must be multiplied on both sides in order to isolate the x on the left side? Negative 6/5 x equals -8. So what's asking is to get the x by itself here, we have to get rid of this number. So what do we multiply to both sides to cancel that out? Well, first off, it has to be negative. Well, we have negative 6/5 x equals -8. What do we multiply to both sides to make the x by itself? So we have to first, since that's a negative, this has to be negative, because negative makes it a positive. Yes, to get the x, because the x has to be positive. That negative sign makes it a negative, so we have to get rid of it. So we multiply by negative.
Would we multiply it by the same? Or no?
By the same numbers? Would if we did that? No, it wouldn't. If you flip them, it would. If you take these numbers and flip them, So whatever this is, if you flip it, the 5s will cancel and the 6s cancel, leaving the x alone, and the negatives cancel. So we have to multiply -5/6 to both sides. Because yeah, so it has to be the same signs and it has to be flips of each other. If you do that, that'll get rid of the coefficient of x. Let me go to the next page. Solve the equation. We have 2/5 x minus 1/4 plus 6 equals 3/10 x. Since it has an equal sign that says solve, we have to solve for x. Since we have fractions and an equal sign, let's get rid of the fractions. To get rid of the fractions, what do? Find the LCD. What's the smallest number that 10, 5, and 4 fit into? 20. What do we do with that 20? Multiply each term by 20. So 20 times 2/5x minus 20 times 1/4 plus 20 times 6 equals 20 times 3/10x. So it's in front of each of these terms, I put a 20. Before you do anything, reduce. Can anything cancel? Yeah. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 goes into 25 times. 10 goes into 22 times. So what our equation now looks like there's no fractions. Multiply to get rid of the parentheses and solve. 4 times 3 is 12x. 5 times 1 is 5. 20 times 6 is 120. 2 times 3 is 6. On here. Ooh, thank you. Good catch. I don't know where I got 3 from. Thank you for catching that. Let's combine like terms. So we have 8x. Since 120 is bigger, the answer is going to be positive. 120 minus 5 is 115. Move the smaller x to the larger x since we have on both sides. (8x minus 6x is 2x plus 115 equals 0. Move the 115 over, so subtract 115 from both sides. And then divide by 2. Negative 115 over 2 is your final answer. Translate to an equation and then solve. The product of 4 and a number increased by 7 is negative 36. So what it says here, the product, what does product mean? Multiplied. So the first number, the product of, so it has to be multiplied, of 4 and means now I need this one. A number increased by 7. Do we know what the number is? No, it's X. Increased by 7 plus 7 is negative 36. Combine like terms, 4 and 7 equals 11. Subtract 11. X equals negative 47. All right, write a 3-part inequality involving the variable X that describes the set of numbers graphed. So at negative 5 to 2. So the shaded area, that's our X. X has to be then between negative 5 and 2. Now, is the first one, since it's a parenthesis, is that a line underneath it or not? No. How about the 2, since it's a bracket? Yes. So a parenthesis doesn't have a line underneath it. The bracket does. So there's your answer. Solve and graph it. 7x plus 6 less than equal to negative 22. Treat it the same way you do an equal sign. We're trying to get x by itself. So let's get rid of the 6. Seven x is less than or equal to, they're both negative. 22 plus 6 is 28. Divide by 7. X is less than or equal to negative 28 divided by 7 is 4. So the graph of that will be at -4. X is less than, so it goes this way, all the way to -infinity. And since it has a line there, it's a bracket. Number 27. Okay. Choose the period over which the prices had the greatest increase. Okay, this one just had a 0.4 increase. This one went from 1.6 to 2.3. So that increase looks like smaller than this one. So the greatest increase would happen between 2000 and 2005. Okay, 28. Find the intercepts of the following graph. The x-intercept, where across the x-axis, is at -2 and 0. The y-intercept, the up and down, is at 0, -5. So this is at -2, 0. That's the x-intercept. Remember, the x-intercept, the y is equal to 0 for the x-intercept. For the y-intercept, the x is equal to 0. So you have to put those in your solutions. So it's -2, 0. The y-intercept is 0, -5. Describe what the graph of the linear function would look like on the coordinate plane. Rewrite the equation if necessary. 29. 5x equals y minus 15. So what can we say about this? Well, let's solve for y. Let's put it in our equation of a line first. So we add 15 to both sides. Y equals 5x plus 15. Right? So the x-intercept, set y equal to 0 and solve for x. So 0 equals 5x plus 15. Subtract 15. And divide by 5. So x is equal to -3. So the x-intercept, -3, 0. The y-intercept, set x equals 0, solve for y. The equation was 5x equals y minus 15. Set x equals 0. 0 times 5 is 0. Move the 15 over. So we add 15 to both sides. And the y-intercept is 0, 15. That's the only thing we know for sure. And we forgot the slope. For the graph to the right, to determine the slope, if it's positive or negative, or 0, and whether the y value of the y-intercept is positive and negative or 0. So by looking at it, we know that it's a negative slope and the y-intercept is positive. Find the slope, if it exists, of the line containing 2 points. Ah, good. This is stuff we did earlier. -5, -15 is the first point. -9, -16 is the second point. Find the slope. Remember equation y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that's x1, y1, x2, y2. -16 minus y1 is -15. -9 minus a -5. So we have -16 plus 15, -9 plus 5. -16 is bigger, so the answer is negative on top. 16 minus 15 is 1. 9 is bigger than 5, its answer is negative. 9 minus 5 is 4. The negatives cancel, so the answer is the slope is 1/4. Are you with that? Okay. Given this, give the slope of each line and then determine if two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So 4x plus 5y equals 5. 3x plus 8y equals 0. Parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So the first equation, 4x plus 5y equals 5. Subtract 4x from both sides. 5y equals negative 4x plus 5. Divide by 5. Y equals -4/5x. 5/5 is 1. So the slope of this first one is negative 4/5. And the second equation, 3x plus 8y equals 0. Subtract 3x from both sides. 8y equals negative 3x. Divide by 8 is negative 3/8x. So the slope is whatever's in front of the x. Slope of line 1, slope of line 2. They're not parallel, they're not, because they're not the same. They're not perpendicular because they don't have opposite signs and are flips of each other. So it's neither. These two lines will meet at some point. They'll have one solution. So this one is neither perpendicular or parallel. (33). Write an equation of line passing through the given point. So it's through the point 1, -8, and having the given slope with slope equals -7. Find the equation of a line. Okay, we have an x value, we have a y value, and we have the slope. So we have y equals mx plus b. Y is -8. M is -7. And x is 1. Solve for b. -7 times 1 is -7. So we add 7 to both sides. 8's bigger, so the answer is negative. 8 minus 7 is 1. So the y-intercept is -1. And the slope is -7. So I just got to plug them in there. Y equals -7x plus -1. -7x, positive and negative becomes a negative, and there's your EOL. Right, number 34. Right, an equation of a line passing through the given pair of points. EOL goes through -7, 0, and 0, 5. It wants slope intercept form and standard. So the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. That's slope intercept. And the standard is AX plus BY equals C. First step, find the slope. Because you have to have a slope and a point to find the equation of a line. Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1. This is the first point. Second point. Y2 is 5 minus 0. 0 minus -7. Negative is positive. So the slope is 5/7. Second step, find B, the y-intercept. Okay, so we have the slope, we have M. Now we need an X and Y, so we pick one point, either of those 2 points. I like the first one. Actually, let me do the second one. I like the second one, 0, 5. I'll show you why in a second. Now, I plug in both of these into my equation. 5 equals 5/7. The X value is 0. Anything times 0 is 0, so B equals 5. Create the EOL. So the M is 5/7 X, and the B is 5. So there's your equation of a line. Find the ordered pair below that could be the solution for the system of the equations in the graph. All right, so we have line 1, line 2. Here's line 1, line 2. Out of these possibilities, which one could be the possible answer? Since it doesn't go anywhere on the X, it's 0, and it's going down, so it's negative. So 0 and negative, the possible answer is 0, -4. Yeah, because here's a point, it doesn't go anywhere on the X, so it's 0, and it goes down to negative. Six. Solve the following system of equations by graphing. Y equals -1/4 X minus 5. 6X minus 4Y equals 48. line 1, line 2. So before I go anywhere, I have to put it in this form, the slope-intercept form. So I add 4y to both places. It'll make my y positive. Subtract 48 from both sides. I'm trying to get y by itself. 4y equals 6x minus 48. Divide by 4. Y equals 2 goes into 3. 3 over 2x minus 12. Y equals 3 over 2x minus 12. So here we have our two equations. Since both of my y-intercepts are in the negative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the first y-intercept is at -5, the other one's at -12. The slope from this one, go down 1 over 4. So go down 1 over 4. And this one, up 3 over 2. So it looks like pretty close. The answer, the point of intersection is at 4, -6. If my graph is correct. So just put them both, graph the two equations. So that, yep. Solve the next one using substitution. 7x plus 8y equals 18. X plus y equals 3. This is line 1. This is line 2. It's using substitution. So I'm going to take line 2 and solve for y. So I subtract x from both sides. So there's my equation for y. Since I used line 2 in this first step, I got to use line 1 for the second. So anywhere I see an x, anywhere I see a y, I put -x plus 3. So y is -x plus 3 from that. And solve it. Get rid of the parentheses, so we distribute. Positive and negative is negative. 8 times x is 8x. Positive is positive. 8 times 3 is 24. And then solve for x. 7x minus 8x is -1x. Plus 24. Subtract 24 from both sides. -6. Change the signs, so x equals 6. Find the y, I plug it back up here. -6 plus 3 is -3. So there's my solution. Using the elimination method. The elimination method. That's line 1. All right, to begin with, let's get rid of the fractions. Let's rewrite the equations. So in the top one, the LCD is 5. So we multiply each term by 5. The 5's cancel, leaving just x plus 5y equals the 5's cancel equals 8. That's the new equation in the first one. On the bottom one, the LCD is 10. So multiply everybody by 10. No, not 10, but 30. 30. Ten goes into 30 3 times. 3 goes into 30 10 times. 30 and 30 cancel. So we have 3x plus 10y equals 31. Now, elimination, I have to pick a variable to cancel. But they have to have the same number but different signs. So if I want to get rid of the x's, this number has to be a -3. If I want to get rid of the y's, this number has to be a -10. So let's get rid of the y's first. So I multiply this whole first equation by -2. So -2x, -2 times 5 is 10y, and -16. So now if I add these two lines together, -2 plus 3, so it's 3 minus 2 is just 1. The 10's can't, the y's cancel. 31 minus 16 is 15. So the x value is 15. Now here, pick either of the equations. Choose either line 1 or line 2. Since this one has a denominator of 5 and I have x is 15, I'm going to use the top one. Use line 1. Plus y equals 8/5. Right? I know that X is 15. Because I'm solving for Y, I need to get everything over there. And this, I'm not gonna multiply these, I'm not gonna simplify those. In short, what I'm gonna have on this side is 15/5. Because now, when I move this number to the other side, I already have a common denominator. -15/5 plus 8/5. -7/5. So the point of intersection is going to be at 15, -7/5. Christine went shopping and bought enough for 8 nephews a gift. Either a video costing $14.95 or a CD costing $16.88. All right, so let's see what I have here. We have videos costing $14.95 or CDs costing $16.88. Spent $127.32 on the gifts. Number of videos, number of CDs. So we know that she spent $127.32. That came from buying CDs or videos. The CDs cost $16.88 and the videos $14.95. Let's put this in a table. Okay, here's the item. So we have a CD and a video. Cost. The cost of a CD was $16.88. Cost of a video was $14.95. Number bought. Oh, we're missing something else. For her 8 nephews. That's important because the number of CDs plus the number of videos has to equal 8. So they have to equal 8. In other words, if she bought X of these, that means it has to be 8 minus X of those. And here's the price. So we have 16.88 times X. 14.95 times 8 minus X. And together, the entire price has to be 127.32. So we know that the spent equals the CDs plus videos. So 127.32, 16.88X plus 14.95 8 minus X. Gotta distribute here. So it's 1495 times 8 minus 1495X. 1688 minus 1495. $1.93X. $14.95 times 8. $119.60. Since X equals 4, X equals 4, 8 minus 4 is 4. So they both had 4. Yeah, that was a lot of work. Combine like terms if possible. Three y cubed plus negative 4y cubed. Two signs next to each other, opposite signs, so it becomes a minus. They have the same terms, so since 4 is bigger, the answer is negative. 4 minus 3 is 1. There's your answer. This is combining like terms there. Evaluate the polynomial if x equals negative 3, 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. So anywhere I see an x, I put a negative 3 in parentheses. So anywhere I see an x, I put a negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Two times 9 is 18. Negative times negative is a positive. 5 times 3 is 15. 8 plus 15 is 32. 32 plus 3 is 35.